Welcome back! Yeah.
We're still playing this game. We've beaten the Topaz Passage and the Emerald Passage. Now we just got to finish off the Ruby, and I haven't even started on the Sapphire Passage. So we'll probably just save that for last, I mean, at this point.
Yeah, Pinball Zone. Yeah, pinball is cool.
Are you a pinball fan?
Yeah, I like pinball. I like it because I guess because it's densely packed, you know? It's just like got so many things that can interact with other things.
I get you.
Yeah. I just realized I never even like analyzed pinball until just now because it's just been with me my whole life. But that's the appeal. That it's not just the content, but how the content like is woven in on itself. Because it's always intricately woven, and I love intricate weaving.
It's a game of ballistics, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
How so? What do you mean by that?
Like ballistics is when like two balls bounce off each other, right?
Yeah.
Like ballistic physics.
I actually didn't know. For some reason, I didn't know what the word ballistics meant, even though I know the word.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Don't quote me on that, but like I think ballistic physics is like, you know, when round objects collide, there's so much more to their trajectories than there would be, you know, like if I let's say I use my hand to push you, then like, you know, you're gonna go straight backwards, like that's pretty guaranteed. But if two balls hit each other,
you're so confident in your lifting already. You're like, if I push you, you're gonna fall. Believe me, I've been lifting and stuff. I'm all strong.
There we go. But you get what I'm describing,
yes.
Right? And that's what makes like the game of pool so interesting, is that like two round objects hitting each other have such a difficult to predict trajectory that like you have to have a certain expertise to be able to figure out how to do it right.
Right.
And how do I get this? There we go.
Yes.
So yeah, and I often describe like actually the arc of Hunter x Hunter you're about to watch, the Chimera Ant arc. When I first watched it, I considered it something like akin to ballistic physics, where it's like lots of things are kind of having cause and effect on one another in like really unpredictable ways that make sense, but you wouldn't have thought they were gonna happen that way.
I see. Wow. Man, you always make that arc sound more interesting every time you talk about it.
Yeah, well, I described it, I believe, as an exercise in chaos theory in my video about it.
Awesome.
And that's sort of what chaos is all about, is like that idea that you know, everything has unpredictable reactions to one another. Like, all the outcomes make sense when you look at them in retrospect, but in terms of like trying to predict the outcomes, it just seems like total chaos.
Right, and I've gotten a little bit of that with like the York new arc, which is what I had already seen. For those who aren't like quite understanding, I am watching Hunter x Hunter right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Not at this exact moment, obviously. Just trying to make sure I am clear on this, so people don't get confused.
Yeah.
Because Digi, you seem to like really expect people to get confused in all sorts of ways that I wouldn't have expected. So gotta be careful, you know. Yeah, it's got things that react to one another in a lot of interesting ways. It made me understand why I'm not that big of a fan of FMA, because in that story, like, things all come together in like a way that's a little bit too clean and perfect, where like it is good in its own way. I'm glad it exists. The world is better for that style of writing. It's just not my favorite style of writing, where everything that happens has a point, nothing is wasted, and everything that happens like connects to like 5 other things that happen. Intricately woven narrative, but just feels a little bit too fake.
I agree. Though I mean, I agree with everything you said, even the beginning part. I do think that it's a little too clean, and it's also just with FMA, and I'm sure this is different for some people depending on like what you're into, but like FMA doesn't have any good personal connection for me. It's like like I totally appreciate this narrative, but it's not affecting me in like a deep way on a personal level. It's just like, wow, I can't believe someone was able to do, you know, the hero's journey art narrative so perfectly but there's nothing personal. Whereas like Gurren Lagann, for example, is a show that like is similar on a much smaller scale. There's not nearly as much going on, but it nails that kind of like, you know, overall narrative, but while having lots of stuff that appeals to me on a more personal level, you know. And I think for a lot of people that's
Yeah.
true. But or better example is, because I always compare Fullmetal Alchemist to Eureka 7 because they're pretty similar in terms of structure, and they're made by the same, you know, the same studio and everything. They're both these big, long, epic adventures, and like both of them have a huge climax. Like with Eureka 7, it's like the last 10 episodes. With Fullmetal Alchemist, it's like the last 13 episodes are all just one continuous climax. But Eureka 7 just has way more like of my kind of thing going on, like in terms of character designs and aesthetic and like just the overall worldview and attitude of it. It's got this very like punk and like highly music influenced and like influenced by different musical movements and like fashion movements and stuff that just connect more with me than the basic world of FMA, which is just
inspired
like
by World War One, I guess.
Yeah.
And II, both the wars. I'm like
big wars.
Yeah.
Whoa. The War of 1812. These things look exactly like Ultron. Like their faces look just like Ultron. From the Avengers 2.
Yeah.
The movie. Starring my own face as my dick. Weird casting choice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
The Hobbit 2.
Yeah.
That's an unfortunately a ruined joke. There was one of the old JonTron videos that he's since deleted. It's just a video of him playing Counter-Strike and making jokes. Very Donkey-esque, like the same style of video that Donkey makes when he just does like you know, gameplay videos. But there's one part where he says, "You can't pass." That's the line, right? From The Hobbit 2. But at the time, The Hobbit 2 didn't exist. You know, like the film trilogy,
I see.
The Hobbit didn't
I see.
exist.
Not familiar with JonTron, but I mean I am, but not. I haven't watched his videos that much.
Yeah, well, that one's a little known video because it was from. It was just a weird gameplay video that he's since deleted.
Yeah, the fact that he's deleted his old videos, I don't know anyone who's done that. I mean, except for like Mysterious Mr. Enter.
Yeah.
He's deleted his old videos like for a much better reason, that like he outright like insults the creators of certain shows. Like it's kind of a joke, but it's also like kind of frightening.
Yeah.
And maybe also because his videos are not super high quality or anything, or medium quality. But you know. But I don't know, just like people deleting their old videos, that is strange. Like, I mean, I could understand. I certainly understand hiding your old videos if you don't want them representing you now.
I mean,
and
sure.
making a playlist.
I don't know that he like has completely deleted it, but it's just not available to be watched on his channel. Whereas,
well, there are like channels that are like deleted JonTron channels, so clearly he's not doing it for them.
No, he's not releasing them anywhere.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, it's super weird, especially because so many of the deleted ones are the best videos he ever did. But, you know, he clearly doesn't appreciate that. Like, that's what... It bothers me so much because, like, you know, he's trying to I've complained about him updating his style and all. Like, he's trying to make it all, you know, high budget presentation and all that shit. Every video has to be like a whole fucking film, essentially. But what bothers me more than that is the fact that he's hiding his old content, which means he doesn't appreciate what made it good.
Yeah.
Like, that those videos are loved by many people, and yet because he doesn't like them, he's hidden them. And, like, you know, it makes it even scarier that, like, maybe John will never be good again because he doesn't even appreciate his own best videos. Like, what he wants his channel to be is just so completely opposed to what, you know, what anyone Not that nobody wants his new videos, you know, but like clearly lots of people would love the old ones. You know, there's plenty of people who don't need him to change anything to enjoy his work. But he just feels the need to change it in this massive way. It's such a fucking sad story.
Don't you think that we TPC individuals have benefited so much from being friends with each other and telling one another to cut shit out? Like, do you think that if John had peers like in the same way that we do, like they would have been like, dude, you know,
I mean, John has plenty of peers, and I think they have. I think there's one video where he's when H3H3 was leaving New York, because they moved back to LA, and like there's a video where they're just hanging out with JonTron, like you know, for a little while, and John's like, yeah, this is fun. Why don't we do this more often? And he's like, because you always have want to turn everything into a fucking production. He's like,
I see.
You know, like everyone knows that about John. His friends make fun of him for the fact that everything he does has to be like a full-blown film, because he just doesn't see as much value in the little stuff. Even though he has, like, you know, he did that Blizzard rant. Did you watch that video?
Yeah, I watched it because everyone was like, this is his, like, best video in a long time.
Yeah, it was. It was, like, legitimately an entertaining and insightful video that, that had, like, real passion behind it. Like, you could tell he cared about this thing. It wasn't just some weird thing that he was, like, so many of his videos now are about things that, like, no one's heard of or cares about. Including him, you know, it's like, why are you talking about this bizarre, shitty movie that no one even has like a narrative with?
Right.
Whereas with the Blizzard rant, it was very dear to him, clearly.
Right. You know, maybe I didn't watch all of it. Maybe I just watched the first 2 minutes because I don't even remember what his point was.
It was just that that there had been Vanilla WoW. Was a game that like a lot of people loved, and there was like a mod of World of Warcraft that or like a private server that people had, which was just like how the game had been in vanilla, and the Blizzard people shut it down even though they were not offering the same service, you know.
So in other words, like they were shutting off their old content even though people wanted it.
Yeah, essentially.
You get the irony, right?
Yeah. I do get the irony. What the fuck do I need to do with this guy? I don't think I can throw him from the ladder. Can I? No.
Ladder. Latter-day Saints, more like.
I don't even know what that means.
That's Mormons.
Oh.
Yeah, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's their actual name.
I see.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Can I drop him while falling somehow? No? Well, I give up. I don't understand this room.
Alright then. It's been another 20 minutes, so next time...
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, we went long on the last one.
Oh, really?
So it would have been 108 when we started this.
Well then.
Okay. Wario is a cool dude. He is not afraid of anything.
He doesn't afraid of anything.
Nope, not one bit.
How did I not knew it? Mormons, you know? Other weird Christian offshoots.
You sound like you're about to start a stand-up set. So, Mormons, you know?
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah. You know, there's this one place called Community of Christ, which I believe is just like one church. It's in Kansas City. I've seen their building. Their building is like, looks kind of like a church, but it's in like a circular, it's in like a cylindrical shape for a few floors. And then it starts to turn into like a spiral, like an upward pointing spiral that goes way high up. It's like hundreds of feet up, I think, into a spiral.
Uh-huh.
And apparently the idea is that when God comes back to Earth, he's gonna be like giant, I guess, and he's gonna need to land on a spiral.
So it's a big spring, essentially.
Oh, maybe that's how it's supposed to work. I don't know. Maybe God will transmute the physicality of the building, or maybe I don't know. I don't really know exactly how it works.
The deepest lore.
Yeah, I'm sure you could ask them. I don't know.
God,
Like,
fucking damn it.
I wonder what they think of Gurren Lagann, by the way. All this dialogue of like piercing the heavens with spirals and stuff. Do they think it's sacrilegious or prophetic?
I would wonder the same.
And apparently they're actually competing with Mormons. Like, my dad was trying to explain this to me because he knows a lot about different, like, you know, Christian offshoots and stuff. He doesn't know the details of this, though, but he thinks that they are like an offshoot of Mormonism, which is itself an offshoot of Protestantism, which is itself an offshoot of Catholicism, which is itself an offshoot of Judaism, right? A lot of offshoots. And, like, basically, like, Mormons believe that God's going to land in Salt Lake City.
Right.
And so then, like, this other church is like, no, he's gonna land here. We're gonna build a spiral just for him, right? And like, my dad says that there might actually be another spiral building in Salt Lake City. I don't think they do, but like, so I guess some people theorize, well, God has 2 feet, obviously, so he's gonna land both, right? Which really starts to make you wonder just how big God is, right?
Yeah.
Now, this raises a couple of questions. One, if God's feet are that big, is he just gonna stab himself on the building? Or is he able to just land daintily no matter what? More importantly, how is he gonna, like, be able to, like, teach anyone anything or do anything when he's that large? You know, he may as well just float out in space. And most importantly of all, like, as you know, like, unless God has updated his wardrobe, he just wears, like, a bunch of robes.
Right.
Which means that everyone in, I believe, Kansas and Nebraska and a few other states will be seeing God's giant penis.
Well,
his
they're
giant
the lucky
Jesus.
ones.
Yes.
They're clearly the chosen.
It'll be like that one Rick and Morty episode where the dude was like,
Yes.
became the size of the United States.
I hope. I would love that to be exactly what God's return is like.
Yeah.
Wait, did that ball, like, somehow not get into the chute? What the fuck? Oh, okay, never mind. There's just two layers.
It's interesting how this is kind of more like pachinko than it is like pinball, really.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
It's probably called pachinko
It's probably
in Japan,
pachinko.
and they just localized it.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. That makes way more sense.
Because, like, there's no, like, pinball visuals in this. Like, those little bumpers.
And this is totally pachinko imagery.
Right.
I think you've called it.
I win.
Yeah. Okay. How do I get that one out?
God, all this talk of food that we were making made me so hungry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, not super hungry, but... Oh, yeah, I was talking about how we went to a barbecue place, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, I just had the barbecue, and I just thought it tasted, like, kind of gross. Even though Guy Fieri ate there, he said it was good. And, like, the thing is, all my time growing up in the Kansas City area, they always say, oh, Kansas City has the best barbecue. And I'm like, I doubt that.
Right.
Why wouldn't, like, the best barbecue be everywhere? Because we have the internet now. Like, people can travel and spread the best barbecue everywhere. How can one region have the best barbecue? Right? And I can kind of buy it with stuff like New York, LA, big cities that matter. But, like, the Kansas City area does not matter. How the heck can you, like, specialize in anything? I just have no faith in that region to have any culture or specialties whatsoever.
That was awesome. The end of that level was awesome.
Yeah.
And I did it with 1 health. I would have been so fucked. Yeah, continue.
But yeah, I'm now thinking maybe it is, because that barbecue was apparently supposed to be good, but it was like way worse than most barbecue I've had in my life. So maybe that region just has exceptional barbecue.
Yeah, I gotta ask Victor about if there's anywhere around here that he thinks has exception, because Victor's a big barbecue fan, and he would know if there's anywhere that's like got a really good one, and you could make a comparison.
My biggest recommendation, it depends on where you are, but there's one store called Jack Stack. It used to be called Smokestack, but they got great. The beans are on beyond delicious. The pulled meat, great. It feels like an awesome place to be. And it's just leagues above that one place that we went the other week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like that place either. So, like...
Yeah, it could be a taste thing.
I mean, I don't think that place is good. Victor hated it. Like
I see.
we went there once before because it was like we were tracking down Guy Fieri restaurants, and so we went there because it's a Guy Fieri restaurant.
Right.
And neither one of us really liked it that much. And the only reason we went back is
Yeah.
because we were
Yeah.
we were out and about trying to get food on daylight savings time.
And it took us a while to realize it was daylight savings because
Yeah.
your car did not update. So
No.
we were going all around like every place is closed, and then finally we went to one where it's like it should be open. Oh, and we had gone pretty far away from
Yeah.
your house. Like we had gone
on
all around
on
the
an
world.
epic adventure to try to find somewhere to eat.
We went to a mall and went to the food court, and like the only ones that were open
would
did
have
not
been great.
seem appetizing
Would
at
have
all.
would have been better, but
Yeah.
nothing was open.
It was just crazy.
All right, well that's it for this episode. On the next one, probably gonna fight the Ruby Passage boss
And talk more about barbecue.
Yeah.